Florida the same way? All
This
kinds
is
of
a
people
highway,
living
where they've been
trailer
coming in here, they've got all that
Okay.
tenure knocked down, and they've got a turnaround.
All right, it is Monday, the 21st of November at 6 PM, and we'll call our meeting to order. We'll start off with Pledge of Allegiance. All right, next we'll have the roll call.
Simonson,
Yes.
Rick Earl,
Yes.
Lyon,
Yes.
Hollister.
Yes.
Coolman, Good,
Yes.
Holm,
Yes.
All right, do we have an approval for tonight's agenda? Okay, we got a motion by Hollister,
Second.
seconded by Holm. If we have no discussion, take the roll.
Rick Earl,
Yes.
Lyon,
Yes.
Hollister.
Yes.
Good,
Yes.
Holm,
Yes.
Simonson.
Yes.
All right, item 5 is public participation. And do we have anybody in the audience who'd like to address the council? Anybody on Zoom? Okay, if not, we'll move on to item 6. It's our consent agenda, which consists of the minutes from the November 7th, 2022 regular city council meeting. Bills payable through November 21st, 2022 in the amount of $783,597.35, and approval of the October financial reports.
So moved.
Okay, got a motion by Good,
Second.
seconded by Rickroll. And if we have no discussion, take the roll.
Lyon,
Yes.
Hollister.
Yes.
Good,
Yes.
Holm,
Yes.
Simonson.
Yes.
Rick Earl.
Yes.
Okay, next we move into new business. And item A under new business is a resolution approving a contract amendment in the amount of $89,409 submitted by Origin Design for the Platt Street Project. Josh,
Good evening.
explain.
Thought I'd start this agenda off with what I think is probably the most immediate and important item on this agenda. So we need to reach the end of construction season, and thankfully some December weather here is about to deliver some opportunity for more driveways and sidewalks and some of these things. Andy from Origin Design is here with me and truthfully has been very, very good about letting us know within the last 3 or 4 weeks that, hey, we're starting to sneak up on budget. We're starting to, now we're there. Hey, now we need this contract amendment, even though we didn't expect to be here. So I share some frustration in this, but I know it's being put to good use, as some of you can tell, since East Platt Street is starting to open, it's starting to look like a finished product, which is nice. I've asked Andy to detail a little bit about what happened here between 240 working days and then adding 32 to our previous contract and why that didn't work. And he's detailed out in the list and bullet points that I've supplied to you the best answer to that question. I hope you have all read and considered what has happened. But what we're asking of Origin Design is to get us to the finish line for this construction season so that we can weigh our options during the shutdown, whether it's by contract with Jackson County and their 2 new young engineers that they picked up. I've already spoken with Todd Kinney. I've considered an alternative where we bring in someone with a professional engineering background in some form or another, because I want to walk into next year with this under control and within our ability too. So there's lots of these finishings that would continue next year that I feel that we're perfectly capable of handling. We just have to have the someone or Jackson County Engineering be able to handle the back-end paperwork in the same way and fashion that Origin does. It's no secret that Origin has been qualified, been very, very good, has delivered a good product for us. When you look at this 89 figure, I think it's something that because of their knowledge, because of their specialty in this, because of their project experience, because that budget is gone, I don't see how we don't vote yes on this, despite it being somewhat, I guess, surprising along the way for what you've already paid. I will add that, you know, unlike Chig-Fry, Origin can't be charged a violation of working days on that 240, and Chig-Fry is already in kind of something of a legal fight with DOT about, you know, them not being able to get paid for the work they're doing, because our last payment we just approved in that consent agenda, Chick-fil-A actually didn't get paid for everything they did because of that working days violation. Same, that doesn't apply to Origin's contract, and I crossed that with the district engineer last week. Since this agenda was released, I confirmed with the USDA that this expense can go against our utility loans, and there's a reminder on that. That's a 40-year, 1.15% payback. It's still a charge now, but it's not coming out of the general fund. It's not coming out of the road use tax. This is money paid back over 40 years. And to dive further into those USDA loans, you're not in it like I am, but USDA approved 3 loans. Sewer loan up to $1.77 million. As of October 31st, we have $348,000 charged to that loan. Water was up to $1.533 million. As of October 31st, it was $1.042 million. Stormwater up to $2.914 million. October 31st, $1.157 million. My point here is that it's been going better than expected. So this is frustrating, but know that there's some real benefits that we have experienced, and that those USDA loans aren't as big as what was potentially presented to you perhaps 2-3 years ago. So I just want you to know that. If there's any maybe questions or clarifications I, Frank, or Andy can offer you on this, please let us know. Please ask any questions, but otherwise I feel that this is an important resolution, of one that gets us to the end of construction season.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions or anything to add?
Just glancing through the messages down below, I wish they were numbered so I could start hollering those out, but how many of these do we feel that are just plain missed? Like the added retaining wall for the United Church of Christ, to me that seems silly to me. Obviously, stuff underground, we obviously don't know. It's a guess. I get that. That's pretty self-explanatory. But, you know, like the drain pipe extensions to timber lanes and things that we come across. But how much, you know, almost $90,000, how much of this is faulted somewhere that it shouldn't maybe be the 90,000?
Frank and Andy, you're probably more in it than I am on this level of a question. Can you advise on this?
I would say that's not all of it by any means, Corey, but there is some here that should have been caught in the plans. I mean, should have been designed differently, if that's what you're asking.
Right.
My view of this amendment, and one of the reasons that it's before us, is plan issue, yeah, but we've had some private conversations now at this point about the level of time that Andy, his team, us have spent making a plan for the plans. And, you know, we hope to address those, but certainly I think that has an influence on this 89, among others. I don't mean to put Andy on the spot for any of this stuff, but if you have some valuable input on this, I'm sure they'd love to hear it.
Yeah, I don't know that I have any objective, numbers that I can give you. A third of this or something like that is could have been foreseen, maybe, as you would say. But there is some portion of this that likely could have been foreseen before we got to it, out on site on the project. But as you mentioned, a lot of this is underground, and you're doing your best guess, because it's hard to plan for absolutely everything that could be under that old street that's 60 or 70 years old. So, sorry, I don't have a concrete answer for you in terms of numbers or a percentage or anything like that, but hopefully that helps.
We had that large increase, 2 months ago or whatever it was?
June 20th.
We didn't think at that time we were gonna run out of money for the engineer, or you thought, oh, this project's going so smooth, we're gonna sail through and there wouldn't be any, why isn't some of this planned for so we can at least have an idea that it's coming? You don't hear anything and then right away it's another $90,000, right? So in our seat, it's frustrating. I get it's not on you, right? But when you're sitting here and you have to answer out there to people, every month it's something else, right? When we've had these big talks, and that big one that went through in June was a huge headache. You know, and then now we're here at 90,000, where some of this probably should have been included in that, and we wouldn't be having to have a discussion today. In my opinion, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I wish we would have known about all these things back in May and June. The reality is we really just didn't, either we didn't know about them whatsoever, didn't know that they were an issue even to be considered, or we had no idea what I shouldn't say that, but we didn't know what the time implications would be. So that's why we did plan for an additional 10 days, kind of undistributed back in May and June, that, you know, we knew there were gonna be more change orders coming up that would likely add time to the contract, so we added those 10 extra days. It turns out for this order of magnitude of changes to the contractor's contract, 10 days didn't even come close to covering it. You know, there was way more issues or way larger issues out there to be solved that are gonna add way more than that 10 days that was originally.
Once we got through midsummer, Josh, things were going actually pretty smooth, if you could say that. And then all of a sudden, we started getting hit. I mean, we thought, hey, things are going good now. I mean, this is gonna end up better. Well, then, like, if you look at that last item on Andy's list, now we're gonna have sidewalk and drainage problems at Timber Lanes, K Motorsports.
But I don't understand how that isn't caught.
that-
I mean, the elevations are in the plans.
Right, the
Are they
project's,
not? So how are we missing it until we're at that actual location that we're gonna have a gap of? I don't understand, because we review it before we, I'm guessing we're not day by day, oh, we're gonna pour this 12 feet, so we look at the plan and that's what we focus on. We look ahead, I would assume. So that's why I don't understand why these are always surprises when the drawings have been there for 2 years now.
But when like Origin was brought on board, they weren't, if you remember last year, Andy and his team, they found a lot of errors that were corrected even before construction started. These are still errors, but Origin was hired to do the construction engineering, not to do plan checking.
Yeah, but
And,
you're
you know-
still, someone's gotta review these plans. Am
Right.
I wrong? Like, I don't understand how elevations can be a last minute thing. And it's happened at Schuler's and now it's happening down there and it's last minute. It isn't like these drawings haven't been around. Like, I mean, I can tell if something's 6 feet off or whatever, and I'm guessing you guys can do it down to the inch. I just don't understand why it's always a surprise.
To me, the issue is IDOT here. IDOT set up engineering for Bolton and Mink, for Origin, for Chick-fil-A for 240 days. I don't know what was in their minds about 240, but Chick-fil-A from the very beginning, according to Aaron Rodgers, they've been on this 240 days since late summer, saying this was unrealistic from the beginning, and they still took the job. And I feel like your 240 days original contract with Origin, maybe you all didn't realize that that was probably having the same problem too without you knowing it yet, but now you're dealing with it. I mean, imagine being the owner of Chick-fil-A right now. I mean, I can't imagine what's going through that person's mind, but I mean, I doubt Frank was sitting here last year thinking there's no way that there's 240 days is gonna be done. I mean, we sat here, I think, at my first month, and Jeff Blandon and Andy came here and said, hey, we're 52% through our budget. It's going all right, but I mean, they were kind of warning us about this 240 days of work thing. So, I mean, this is a substantial increase in working days over that 240, and we didn't set the 240, the state did. At the end of the day, you get a heck of a highway, a great streetscape, and new underground. Cling to that thought that it's gonna look good. I know the light pole bases are really frustrating right now, but it's gonna look great.
I mean, I love that argument. You made
Right.
it out there for the other, like, I get we're getting a new road, but it's still at what expense do we decide we've been hosed? And I'm not saying you guys are hosing us, I'm saying ultimately, every change order is hundreds of thousands of dollars, or nearly 100,000 a year.
yeah, to me, the 240 working days was fine if we didn't have 12 items here. So the comment
this
about,
is-
the comment about the 240 working days is probably still valid, correct? If they didn't have this disaster?
Well, that we don't know.
Chick-fil-A would tell
either.
you no.
Right.
And they knew that from the beginning, they say.
right? But you had two people that signed up for it.
Yep. Yeah, and they knowingly did, there's no doubt about it, but that was their decision, like you're saying.
Well, I'm gonna side with Andy and Origin a little bit. I know it's frustrating all this coming in, but a lot of this was work that, even if it was in the plans from Bolton and Mink, we'd still have to pay to get it done, correct?
Had it been done right.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, we still would have to pay it.
But then it would
They
have been
brought
in the
you-
original contract, we would have voted on that knowing dollars then, not adding $500,000 to the end,
Well,
because we keep getting change orders. I get it,
I'm
Tony.
not gonna argue that point with you. I guess my point is, your group and your team is only so big. And you can't be expected to go from Main Street all the way down to the fairgrounds and measure every elevation and every height and everything about that. I don't think you have the manpower for that, do you? To do it in a timely manner?
Right, I mean, we could do, yeah, I mean.
I'm not saying you couldn't do it. I'm just saying
Yeah, we could
economically.
do that as a survey. I think, going back to, I think, Josh, it was your question about, doing almost what I would call a design review of these plans. That's not what we have in our contract. That's not what, what a normal construction engineering scope is.
Yeah, but who's doing that? That was Bolton and Mink?
That was Bolton and Mink, Josh. That's
So, but then you
what
can't
they
give us
were
a
hired
percentage
for.
of what
Who
this
reviews it?
stuff-
Who reviews Bolton and Mink's plans? Was the state?
Correct, the state does
Okay.
do a review of plans.
Yeah, but then Corey asked what percentage of this, and you can't give an answer. So basically, I hear it's all this is what's causing the 38 days. So to me, it's 100% at that point. And then that needs to be added to the list of stuff we're considering. This 90,000 to me is going on that, whatever we decide to do on that side of things. So, I mean, there's no getting around it. And I don't want to, I do kind of like beating Andy up every now and then, but I get it's not you,
That's
but it's
appreciated.
frustrating because you gotta, we have to answer this stuff and it's irritating.
Do we have a dollar amount now on the change order value? What that is?
We were up to just shy of 500 as of
The last change order.
last change order.
Change order 12.
We are aware that there's at least another one coming, as I've described here before, that captures a lot of what happened in the summer, and we expect that to be large. I don't want that to be forgotten, so I don't know what that number is yet, but it's another one that's coming and another one that goes on to the list for consideration. I don't want that to be forgotten about.
Yeah, and I guess my main topic is, Andy, this is not to you, and Mr. Mayor, with all due respect, I know you made the comment about getting the project done, but there's a lot more projects we could have done in town for $500,000 too. And that's, like Josh has made the comment, the citizens come at us because of this stuff. How many streets could you have seal coated, Frank? 4 or 5 more?
Right.
Yeah, I'm just guessing, I don't even know. But there's a budget for a reason, and this project's obviously,
Has CNR
Gone out the
and all
side.
those people been talked to? Because we're essentially heading into the same territory we did on, correct?
We've not had, go ahead, Frank.
We are working through that right now with Andy and his team. And Randy knows that he's gonna get a whole bunch of new concrete to make his parking lot drain,
We're assuming a 50-50 split, correct?
correct?
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Is it like where the road, like his entrance? Because I drove by there after we talked. Is it just at that section, and where's that gonna drain to? Is it just not coming off? Because I see where their driveways meet, it's lower, right?
Right.
But it seems like in other areas of that thing, it is elevated properly.
Yes, yeah, that's a good point. I don't have a plan here to point to or somebody, the drive apron that you can see out there, that's the main area that doesn't currently drain with the elevations of his existing concrete versus what the new trail elevation would be.
Well, do we have anything else to add to this? Any more questions?
So moved.
Yep, we have a motion by Lyon,
Second.
seconded by Good. Any more discussion? Take the roll.
Colister,
Yes.
Good,
Yes.
Holm,
Yes.
Simonson,
yes.
Rickrell,
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes.
Thank you.
Item B is a resolution certifying and claiming fiscal year 23-24 tax increment to reimburse the city for debts incurred and expenses advanced related to urban renewal projects authorized by the Maquoketa Amended and Restated Unified Urban Renewal Plan as amended. Go ahead.
The rest of them are easier. We owe an annual report or claim to Jackson County to make sure that we can claim revenue on debts incurred and expenses related to our urban renewal plan here in the state of Iowa. It's a very, very different TIF system than Illinois is, trust me. But I provided a chart, it's a little more grainy than I originally intended here, but the Finance and Personnel Committee and I reviewed a bit of this for informational purposes only. Council has to certify and make a resolution to lay claim on these expenses, most of which are bond repaybacks at this point, and then a couple private deals plus JCEA and the chamber. Next year's, we're looking at more private deals, but historically, we've been a bit below that 700 range, not by a great total, but we're aiming to stay in the low 700s overall in our TIF claim, and it's some report that we owe to county, and this does affect the county's tax base in a way. So this is some chart, if you wish to hang on to. This is what we're laying claim for on TIF. So I'll take any questions if you have any.
So moved.
Okay, got a motion by Lyon,
Second.
seconded by Holm. Any more discussion? And take the roll.
Good,
Yes.
Holm,
Yes.
Simonson.
Yes.
Rick Earl,
Yes.
Lyon,
Yes.
Colister.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Item C is a resolution approving 2022 street finance report for road use tax funds used by city streets and parking.
Thank you, Mayor. This is another step in the direction for financial reports owed before December 1st, and this is the street finance report that qualifies our road use tax spending on what we can actually use it for according to state code. So with Sickich's help and Andrea's help, we've aligned that report, just waiting for council's blessing here to go ahead and file the report. That's been cleared by Sickich as well, our auditors.
So moved.
Okay, we got a motion by Colister,
Second.
seconded by Rickrell. If we have no discussion, take the roll.
Holm,
Yes.
Simonson.
Yes.
Rick Earl.
Yes.
Lyon,
Yes.
Colister.
Yes.
Good,
Yes.
Okay, that motion passes. Item E is a discussion and possible motion approving the annual urban renewal report for fiscal year 2021 and 22.
Mayor, I think we skipped one. We did.
Oh,
Item D. We had to back up
oh,
one.
okay. Item D is a resolution approving the annual financial report for fiscal year 2021 and 22.
And this one came in January this year. Sickich got it done with our required timelines, and this report will be presented to you at the next meeting as a presentation that'll be on that. So I expect them to do about 5-10 minutes on their findings in an audit manner that would be consistent, but they didn't find any fraud. They didn't modify any accounting opinions on us, which is a good thing. So we have had some concurrence, I believe, through the mail and through other communications with you guys about the audit itself. There's a couple management things and internal controls that they're recommending to us, like most auditors would at this point, but overall, we've been pretty satisfied with Sickich. And this annual financial report puts it all together for review if you wish.
So moved.
Okay, got a motion by Colister,
Second.
seconded by Holm. If we have no discussion, take the roll.
Simonson.
Yes.
Rick Earl,
Yes.
Lyon,
Yes.
Colister.
Yes.
Good,
Yes.
Holm,
Yes.
Okay, that motion passes. Now item E is a discussion and possible motion approving annual urban renewal report for fiscal year 2021 and 22.
Thank you, Mayor. This is TIF related, but TIF is a draw from our actual urban renewal plan and report. For fiscal year 21-22, we're required to file this with the state. This is not the county, this is the state report now. It's a quite lengthy report on what we can actually do and lay claim for, and has some geographical limitations to it and base values and determinations. And it's a report that we owe every single year, just like Illinois. It's one of the few things that's similar to Illinois for me, so.
Motion to approve.
Okay, got a motion by Simonson,
Second.
seconded by Good. So if there's no discussion, take the roll.
Rick Earl,
Yes.
Lyon,
Yes.
Colister,
Yes.
Good,
Yes.
Holm,
Yes.
Simonson.
Yes.
Okay, item F, the discussion and possible motion accepting the resignation submitted by Brent Good for the Third Ward Council member.
Motion to approve?
Got a motion by Simonson,
Second.
seconded by Rickrell. Any discussion?
Any last words?
Yeah, anything you want to say?
Nope. Never know, might be back someday. We'll see.
All right.
Thanks, Brent.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for all you've done, man. Go ahead and take the roll.
Lyon,
Yes.
Colister.
Yes.
Good,
Yes.
Holm,
Yes.
Simonson.
Yes.
Rickrell.
Yes.
Okay, you're out. All right, item G is a discussion and possible motion to fill the vacancy created by the resignation of the Third Ward Council member Brent Good by council appointment. Okay, we got a motion by Colister,
Second.
seconded by Holm. Any discussion? And take the roll.
Colister,
Yes.
Good,
Yes.
Holm,
Yes.
Simonson.
Yes.
Rickrell.
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item H, discussion and possible motion to appoint council member Rickrell to the Public Safety Committee.
Second?
Motion by Colister, seconded by Simonson. Any discussion? Then take the roll.
Good,
Yes.
Holm,
Yes.
Simonson.
Yes.
Rickrell.
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
Colister.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item 8 is reports and communications. Anything from any of the council members? Anything from the city manager?
Just been working on budget with department heads and commissions, and we've made a entire full circle at this point. Now it's putting together, I guess, a draft one recommendation. So Andrew and I have been, it's pretty much priority number one for me right now. It's getting to a good point with that. So in terms of filling council member Good's seat, we're opening that up on November 30th. As we said, it's about 2 weeks of an application period. If any of you have any contacts that want to know what it's like working with the city on at least my end, just know I can speak with people and maybe explain what it is I do or present an agenda or what a budget means to me for a budget presentation. I think I might be able to help answer some questions if that's valuable to folks. So just know I'm available.
Okay. Anybody else have anything? We have no executive session, so I'd take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Rickrell,
Second.
seconded by Brent. We have no discussion? Take the roll.
Holm,
Yes.
Simonson.
Yes.
Rickrell.
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
Colister.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
All in favor, say aye.
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 We're adjourned.